How's it, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Duckhook, the complex decision making of the Duckhook 18. Notice something a little bit different tonight. I've actually performed a hostile takeover of the show just so that I can actually get a few words in before Coach Dill cuts me off rudely. So welcome to our characters that are always here, the regulars. How's it, guys? As you noticed, something a little bit different. Sorry, Maz, I just had to perform something so I could get some words in.
How did I get here?
So welcome to tonight's episode. We've got loads in store for you, lots to talk about, as well as we have a new character, but he's kind of become a regular. He's so regular. He's on our Duckhook compilation WhatsApp group. Now that we've got Highland Gate out the way, we'd just like to welcome Baz back to the show.
Oh, okay. I'm back in my normal spot.
Ryan, you got to let that go that I haven't played Highland Gate, but...
Sure.
Sorry. At least you're a regular and you're on the WhatsApp group now.
Yeah, it's enough apparently.
You're so regular, you don't even get a drum roll. No one cares anymore.
Oh, no. Okay, fine. There we go. Welcome back, Bert. Oh, and it's not Quibus.
There we go.
And again, he's not Quibus, so it's put in the wrong thing, but I'm sure I can change that pretty easily. Hello, everybody. Well done, Ryan, for making it happen. Yes, we apologize for last time for you not getting your words in, but you made a good effort. So one day you'll have your own show on Duckhook TV. Yes, Baz, thanks for joining us again. We thought it'd be nice to get your opinion for hole 15 and 16. Everybody, it's hole 15 and 16 today. Are we ready to go? It's been a bit confusing. There's 3 par 3s and 1 par 4. So this today pretty much decides what's happening tomorrow. There is some things I want to say. Yes, 2 guys had very happy birthdays today. One was Jaco Grobler, he was on the show for hole 16, and one was Leonard Nell. Gonna have a beer for you later, boys. So yes, enjoy. Fats, you want a beer?
Oh yes, thanks, Maz.
Oh, here you go.
Cheers. Thanks.
Have it later. All right, cool. Okay, everybody, let's get into
Have a
it.
beer.
Have you got a rattler? Otherwise, the trick doesn't work.
Can I chuck one?
Then it's kind of like, rattler?
Just catch it.
Bronovan and Coke. All right. Okay. Okay, everybody, let's do this. I want to go through some very important news that has happened. And this is from Monday. We came on Monday. We said we're going to wait for what's happening in the news. Okay. And the news is there is no news. Nothing happened Tuesday. Nothing happened Wednesday.
Standard procedure.
So it's kind of like disappointing. So we don't even know what's happening. Anyway, let's just say hello to the guys watching. Peter Prinsley, hello. How's it going? Knock from Hanu. Welcome.
That's a big knock coming from Pretoria.
Yep. Quibus, our guest from last time, who is Basil Quibus. I'm going to try to fix that while we're talking. Martinez, how's it? Welcome back. Carl, all the way from the Lowveld, joining us. Well done, Carl. All right, anyone else? Paul Ricketts back for more. All right, what's happening in today's show? I got one more news piece. All right, we did one of these. This was the Beat My Bounce. So last time we had myself, Ruben, and who was the last guy? Can we remember?
Rudy,
correct. Rudy went forever. That's what I forgot because it's nothing special about him. So then they challenged some new guys. So we thought we'd play the new challenges so far, and this is how it's gone.
Thanks for the nomination, Rudy. Here goes nothing.
Hi guys, the Bass Challenge. Tian, you beat your 30. I think I should do it. Next up, Fatsy, you do it.
Hello, boys. Graham, thanks for the nomination. I did a bit of practicing. Let's give it a go. 51. I think it was 68 or 69. Yeah, shit, sorry, maybe I just perform under pressure.
Okay, well done, boys. Well done, Fats.
That's neat. Very nice.
58. So you said to me that you had to, you'd never do it. So you practiced a bit before you filmed it. But 68 on your first go, very, very good, very good.
Yeah, honestly, Maz, I've never really played around with bouncing the ball. I did it for the first time this afternoon. I had about 4 or 5 practices. I think the best I got was like 28. And I told the wife, just take a video, let's get it over with. That's why I had the beer poured already. And once I started, I just kept going. Yeah.
So who did you nominate?
Really surprising.
Who's next?
Say again?
Who did you nominate to do the next?
The sheriff.
The sheriff?
The sheriff, Andre.
Oh, this could take a while. Okay.
Yeah, so
Come on, Andre, get it done. Right. Okay. So, hole 15. We're going to do that now. Do a bit of a recap, do selections, and then we're going to talk PGA Tour, give everybody a bit of a break, and then we're doing hole 16. So let's get into it. So I thought, okay, I'm not going to go through the entire schlep of the recap holes because this graphic pretty much has it on. Okay, Reading, there you go. Reading, Glendower, so on and so on. Kalami, Woodhill, Dainfern, Copperleaf, Irene, Serengeti, Blue Valley, Glen Vista, Royal Joburg East, Houghton, Peakwood, and we chose Highlands Gate for the stroke 1 on Monday. So that leaves us with 4 and only 4. We've got Eagle Canyon, which I mentioned is the only par 4 that we could choose. Ibot has a par 3, Rand Park has a par 3, Jackal Creek has a par 3. Now there's a lot of permutations that's been happening because, yeah, we've got to this stage and it's interesting. It's interesting. So now we have to decide what are we going to go for. Okay, boys. Right. There's only 4 holes. So is anybody going for Eagle Canyon? Let's start at Eagle Canyon.
I am.
Baz, talk us through Eagle Canyon.
Right, so pretty much I'm picking Eagle Canyon because for once in our 18 holes of the Duckhook, there's water on the right, Dill. So I have to take that one. But looking at the hole and the way I played the hole, it's pretty much a basic tee shot. You can hit an iron or a wood off that tee, off the club tee. And, it's also, there's a bit of water right at the green, so you need to be pretty accurate with your approach. But pretty much simple tee shot, and if you pull off if you pull off two shots there, you could walk off with a birdie or just a basic par. So, yeah, that's why I'm picking Eagle Canyon for the 15th.
I just want to throw something out there quickly. Okay, guys, just comment quickly on Eagle Canyon. I want to know what clubs you're going to hit because the different golfers, the different hitters will hit different distances. Like, Baz, you won't be taking a driver, whereas I could just hold back on a driver. So comment what you'd be taking off the tee, and then we'll get back to you. I got a message here from one of your fans. Let me find it, Baz. Can't choose Houghton, Basil. Houghton's been chosen. Okay. Sorry, it's from
Is that Lockie?
That is. He's watching you. And you were on. Right. Well done, Lockie. Thanks for joining us. Okay. So that's Eagle Canyon. Anybody got anything to say with Eagle? I like Eagle Canyon. It's actually a nice hole. You can play that hole very nicely. My conundrum to say is that I wanted 5 Thorns par 3 17th. So now if we take it that way, then the Eagle Canyon becomes a problem. So I'm leaning towards Eagle Canyon for this one. Right. Anybody got to say anything about Eagle Canyon? Otherwise, somebody can speak about Jackal Creek.
Bill, can I talk?
About Jackal Creek?
No. So I would say I agree. I think Eagle Canyon's a great hole. For me, it's not as simple as just hitting a shorter club off the tee box because it's quite a sloped fairway that just drops off down to the right if you do end up a bit short. So you do need to make sure you've got enough club to get up to the top of that fairway. But again, being short of the water, it's a cool par 4. It's a massive green. Quite flat, but as long as you keep it away from the right side where the water is, it's pretty simple, which is probably not a bad thing to include into our 18 because we haven't really had the simplest of holes the whole way through.
Okay. I got some. Oh, by the way, Baz, you're now Basil. Okay. You're not Quibus anymore.
Well done.
Quibus, has a 2 hybrid and a 5-iron. Don't hit that far. Okay, 2 hybrid, 5-iron. Very good. Then Jason Dedicant has driver sandwich. I am more of a driver 9-iron kind of guy.
No, I've played that hole twice with Wayne Jensen actually in the past, and both times he goes driver over that mound on the left. Aims for, like the semi-rough left of the fairway. There's no chance of hitting the water there, and he's just got a little pitch shot in. So there's also another way to play that hole. Bit of risk reward. If you don't really get it spot on, you in the deeper rough on the left. But yeah, I think it's a good play, just go left with the driver. Myself, I just go 4-iron and then maybe, like 7-iron into the green.
Okay, cool. Dylan, you haven't said anything so far, so fire away with Jackal Creek's 15th.
Cool, yeah. Just a quick touch on the Eagle Canyon. I mean, I agree with everything you guys are saying. It's also a blind tee shot, don't forget that. You can't really see where you're going to land the golf ball, so you got to trust your yardage. You got to pick out the yardage. I think it's about 220 on the fly or something like that is the right yardage to hit. Anything more than that, and you risk running into the water, which I did the first time I played there. Yeah, I mean it's cool. It's a cool hole, but it's not great in my opinion. But anyway, the green's pretty cool. It's quite sloping, very big. It's almost divided into 2 greens with a big ridge running through the middle at about a 45-degree angle, but. So the putts tend to turn quite a lot. But yeah, I guess it's okay. I think we have to fit in Eagle Canyon 15 or 16. I think we can all agree on that. So, at the end of the day, I guess, good enough hole.
Yes,
Jackal 15, that was on my original list. Even though on air, unfortunately, I did say something about Jackal with par 5s. But then when I did my course, it didn't work out. So I put this par 3. Where you can see that 0 on that caption, we've actually built or extended the tee box back about another 30 meters, cut out all those trees and stuff. So it's about if it's a back pin, it can play about 220. And then we softened that bunker that you can see in the front there, so there's almost a run-up area. From that bunker, so it plays like a very, very long par 3. I would kind of promote it, I would say, but I don't think if we go for that hole that the rest of the 18 works out that well. So I do think it's quite a nice hole and it's different, and I might say we don't have a very long par 3. And it's quite a cool one that people can actually, I've seen in club champs, the guys hitting drivers there and they actually run it into that green.
Wow.
So it's something different, but which is kind of cool. But I don't see us picking it and then the rest of the 3 holes fitting in.
Okay.
So unfortunately, although it was on my original list, it has since been axed, erased, Capex deleted, whatever you want to think about it. But a cool hole, nice strong hole.
Another par 3 is Ibotzi's par 3. Very short little par 3. Not much to this hole, boys.
No, Maz, I think it's an average hole. It's a nice short little par 3 for all the golfers. I mean, you can go, wedge to 8-iron depending on the wind. Nice big green, also slopey. Bunkers protecting it on the left there. And then obviously the long grass on the right, so you can't, spray it there. But there's still enough space to make quite an easy up and down as well if you miss the green. So an easy parring hole, nice par 3. Again, I think, there's better holes to come at Ibotzi for the last couple.
Yeah. And then we got Firethorns 15th, another par 3. Baz, this one?
Pretty enjoyable par 3. It probably plays, from last I remember at the SO Open, it was like 173 right off the back. You don't want to miss it right, and that front right bunker's not the worst place to miss it if you're going to go right. Entering most of those flags pretty much straight in. You don't want to go long left there because that chip down the slope is pretty intense, and those greens can get pretty firm throughout the year. So long is dead there. Pretty good hole. Very basic par 3, nothing too much to worry about. I actually preferred that hole over the Ibotze par 3. I think it's a lot more. It's more painful and not as simple as Ibotze. So I would have then rather picked Firethorn if we had to debate between the two.
Okay, Quibbers makes a good
I think there's definitely more to that hole, as Baz says. The classic redesign of the greens there as well, that definitely accepts a fade. So you've got to have the guts to fade it in there as a good player and not miss it right. I mean, Baz, the bunker, for good players, that bunker's not bad. For your average player, it's actually a lot deeper than what that caption says.
Yeah.
And then if you miss that bunker, you can actually run down to the 14th fairway, and then all of a sudden you've got a 40-meter pitch shot with about 5 meters of elevation. Now, 5 meters of elevation, when you're talking about it, doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're standing there, trust me, 5 meters of elevation is a lot. So yeah, there's quite a lot to that hole, and it definitely accepts a fade a lot better. I've seen a lot of guys kind of aim left and fade it in there and hit it quite close with the slopes of the green. And then you've got that hectic flag in the back middle portion where you got to land it on a dinner plate. So it's a very cool hole. Agree with Baz there, yeah, definitely better than the Botsy.
I'm going to put this back up. Quibbers makes a good point. Prefer Firethorn 15th and Eagle Canyon at 16. Guy, any comments on this one?
That's where I would be leaning to. Just for the finish of our course. I definitely think, again, going on what the guys have just said about Firethorn and Ibotsi, the Firethorn hole, there is more to it, but it looks simple when you stand on the tee box. It looks like it's a pretty simple, men's tee box, 155, 160 meter shot to a reasonably sized green. Your average golfer is going to stand up, grab a club, and hit it, and most likely end up in more damage than he can sort of deal with. So yeah, I think that's definitely a cool hole. It's unfortunate that we're getting that hole, from an SA Open course, but yeah, I think Quibbers is probably spot on with going Firethorn then Eagle Canyon.
I think so too. So just to reiterate, the poll on our Facebook group, Firethorn is leading, Jackal Creek in second, then a tie for the next two. I just want to come in on what you were saying there, Ryan. Yeah, it's unfortunate because they say Open, the Firethorn, we thought we were going to get a better hole, and this is why we're saying maybe at the end we might have to relook one or two picks, but we'll get there. It just works out that way. Okay, so
just to add to that Firethorn hole, Maz, as well, on what Dylan said, it's like the way the green is shaped, you want to hit a little fade in there. They've got quite big trees overhanging and protecting the left side of the green, so if you go slightly too far left, you hit that trees and you're in a bit of trouble for your pitch shot as well.
Yeah.
So I think it's actually a great par 3 and it fits nicely into our course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I think it's subtle. It's quite subtle, but it's quite a good hole.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
I think, boys, that settles that discussion then, that we're going to go Firethorn for the 16th. Happy? 15th. So Firethorn 15th. So we got our par 3 in. So we're left with 16, 17, 18. So we're left with, this is probably going to be the order. Eagle Canyon, Ibotsi, no? Jackal Creek.
Jackal, Ibotsi.
Yeah.
Those are the three we got left.
Big debate on
I think
which finishing hole to use. Ibotsi or Jackal. I mean, both are great, strong par 5s.
Yeah, it will be interesting. Okay, but we'll get back to that. So we've got hole 15. We're going to take a little segue and talk about the Charles Schwab Challenge. I've got some interesting facts to do with the Charles Schwab, especially when it comes to bookmaking markets, how you can choose different things. It's not always just choose the winner. And then we'll come back and do hole 16. So I don't think that's going to take too long. Okay, everybody, exciting times. Let us move on to the Charles Schwab Challenge. This is what the Colonial Course has for everybody. Fort Worth, Texas, par 70, 35, 7,000 yards. Holes 3, 4, 5, known as the Horrible Horseshoe. Total purse is $7.5 million, with the winner taking $1.35 million for himself. And the FedEx Cup points is 500. Did you know that this is the toughest par 70 on the PGA Tour, with only 2 par 5s, the first and the 11th? So this is pretty much a good course to use your irons and keep the driver away. Baz, short course. What's the mentality as a pro going into some course like that?
Well, so if you look at the past winner, I think it's Kevin Na, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct.
Yeah.
he's not known for his long hitting. He's persevered mostly in his ball striking, dart throwing and making putts. So, given that you're only getting 2 par 5s, you just want to average out, making pars on the par 4s and, getting to the par 3s, you don't want to make a lot of mistakes. And obviously taking advantage of the 2 par 5s is crucial. That's where guys are going to be making, their easy birdies, So it's a bit of a mixed bag in terms of strategy. So personally, as a professional, if I had to play a golf course that only has 2 par 5s, I would work tremendously hard off the tee, not necessarily hitting driver, but, hitting more woods, more longer irons, on most of the tee boxes to make sure that I'm in play. I'm not jeopardizing, making par, even, hitting a few 10, 15 foot approaches, making birdie from there, So, you got to stay patient and you got to wait for your chances. And also, you got to ride the wave, the par wave. And once the birdies come, take full advantage, like I've said.
I want to add 2 things, right? There is a new dynamic. There's no fans. So wayward hitters, there's nobody to look for your golf ball this time. It's up to you.
And
yes.
Matt, now that you say that about the no fans, it's going to play a lot tougher, to be honest. 2 reasons.
Yeah.
Fans don't trample down the rough, and fans also don't kick your ball further down the rough.
Yeah.
So,
would there not be a
unfortunately,
depth
you
perception thing when it comes to stands around the greens? Would it not be easier to judge when you've got nothing behind?
You'll definitely.
The guys play by numbers, Maz. The guys play by numbers. They hit it on the number. They work out adjusted yardages for wind elevation, whatever the case may be, biggest landing area, and the caddy gives them a number, and they're hitting that number. It'll have a different look to it, but not a depth perception issue. There's just one thing to touch on there. If you haven't experienced it, I'm sure you will in the future very soon. The other thing about playing with fans, especially off the tee, is they give you this sort of visual linear effect, and they actually make hitting the ball more accurately off the tee easier because they give you this sort of narrow starting line.
Yeah.
And you just gotta hit between them. It does happen sometimes if you hit a wayward shot and then you've got to kind of recover, but it's more evident off the tee. So even if you get a crowd that's like 3 or 4 deep, which is a few hundred people, automatically your eyes get a sort of linear aspect.
Yeah,
and it's like having a training aid, honestly. This is the truth, guys. It's like having a training aid, and you go, okay, cool, I don't have to worry about that tree and whatever because you can't see it. All you can see is this corridor, and if you start your ball on that corridor, the ball's going to stay in that corridor generally. So there is quite an advantage
what you say, Ryan?
Hey?
What you say about that, Ryan? What Dylan's saying?
No, I agree 100%. It's like the peripheral vision. It blocks you. You almost block out the shit that's... Oh, sorry for that. You block out the rubbish that's on the outside of the sort of crowd line. You're not even seeing that as a landing area. You've got your picture down the fairway or, the shape of the hole, and that probably shapes the hole even more for you.
Okay, before we get to the some of the betting that I want to show and that we're going to talk about, I've tasked everybody to come up with their picks so that we can choose our favorites and what we want to happen. I want to tell and share a little story with you regarding the tunnel vision. Dol, you'll like this story. About 12 years ago, even more, the SA Open was at Umwood in PE. And we were down there doing a show, and I was with a crowd, and we got a phone call while we were driving to the course. And the phone call said, somebody has pulled out of the SA Open, can I fill the spot? So I was like, I got my golf clubs, I'm in. Now you got to remember, I'm not very good at this stage because I'm only like 22, 23. I'm playing off like an 18. Got no idea who I'm playing with. So rock up at the clubhouse, go into the change room, see a couple of pros there, quite excited. Walk to the box. My tee-off time is 20 past 12. And I get there and there's another dude standing waiting on the box. And I'm like, hey, how's it? I'm 20 past 12. And he says, cool. So I said, there's quite a lot of people standing around here for a Pro-Am. And he says, well, for the Pro-Am day on the Wednesday. And he goes, yeah, we've got a nice 4-ball. So I'm like, oh, okay. So I wonder who's playing in the 4-ball. Just as I'm about to finish a sentence, here comes Retief Goosen. I think to myself, oh, please, let him not be in this ball. So, to cut a long story short, 18 holes where I played very, very average, with about 60 to 80 people following us the whole way around, and I hacked. Yes, that wasn't fun. So the tunnel vision doesn't work. So I think I almost killed 2 people pulling it left.
Guys, you should have asked them to stand in a curve. So, you just maneuver them and you say, right, you guys, you come over here, and then you guys go over there, and then you would have played great.
There's nothing worse than the crowd trying to give you advice on how to play golf. Anyway, let's move on.
You had 60 spotters walking down each hole for you, so it's okay.
Horrible. It's what nightmares are made of, people. Okay, betting. Here we go. This is what I wanted everybody to have a look at. So this, I've taken the top 2 pages. So there's like the top 20 odd golfers. The column, win column, is outright win. Right? At the end of 4 rounds, that is going to be the winner. So what 9 to 1 means is if you're going to put 100 Rand on, you're going to win 900 Rand back if Roy McIlroy wins. The place bet is top 5. So if he finishes after 4 days in the top 5, then the price, if for 100 Rand, you'll get 180 Rand back. So you can see that he is quite favourite, or the favourite, to finish in the top 5. Gentlemen, out of this page, can I get a top, you can either go best finisher or you can give me a top 5.
I'm going best finisher and my top 5 bet, which I think is good value, Ricky Fowler.
Yeah. And why?
Again, looking at the round they had the other day for the charity round, I think his game is looking pretty good. Mr. Wolf probably just put him down a bit with the golf he was playing. You can see Ricky got a bit frustrated at a stage there with his partner not really helping him. But his swing looked really good. He just needed to make some more putts, and that obviously comes with playing competitive golf as well as with the practicing. I just really like him for this weekend.
Cool. Anybody else? Quickly, your pick and reason why?
I'll go Kevin Na.
You like the reigning champion?
He's on the next. Yeah, I like him as the defending champ coming out of a sort of long time off. No one's really got the upper hand on like tournament play and whatever. Yep. But I just love his attitude. I think he's got the balls to do it.
And 132 to 10 is a great price if he finishes in the top 5. Anyone else?
Yeah.
I've picked Zhang J Im, last season's Rookie of the Year on the PGA.
Oh, good shout.
Where is he?
Youngster, quality golfer. He has won on the tour before, so it's not something that he's not familiar with. And coming out of this lockdown and having to throw the guys in the deep end, I think I think the youth will pull through this time.
Okay, Dil, who are you going for?
Money is going on Justin Rose.
Okay. And he hasn't had the greatest start.
No, I know. I mentioned it earlier. I think he's just the kind of guy, the way he approaches things, and the way, just his demeanor and the way he swings a golf club, everything. He doesn't swing with sort of rhythm and touch and flair. He just mechanically works it all out, and then he just grinds it until he's better. So I think in lockdown, that guy would have been hitting 1,000 balls a day, just grinding things out. And the thing where guys come back into competition and maybe their touch is not quite there, that's kind of normal for Justin anyway. He doesn't always have the best touch as it is, but he's just a relentless ball striker, and when he just repeats that swing and that club position over and over and over and over and over, that's how he wins golf tournaments. So I think this lockdown was suited his style of play. But as always, every single tournament that's teed up, the heart will be with Jordan.
Okay. Fats, did you see that? Jason said your pick missed the cut last year. Sorry for you.
That's okay.
So hopefully he plays better today. I'm going with Tony Finau, 7-1 for a place. Why I'm going for him? Because he is a very good player of short irons, and he plays with, what is it, a hybrid? Like a rescue, and he smashes that thing, and he's going to hit that thing all day. So he's going to be very, very steady, and he also likes his golf course. Another one is Kevin Na. They say it's true. Okay, golfers like their golf courses. And this is one that Kevin now enjoys playing. So for a top 5, I'm also going with him. Then I wanted to break down some other interesting betting. This is a group betting, right? So they've grouped these 5 players together. Rory McIlroy, John Rahm, Justin Thomas, Webb Simpson, and your player there, Basil. And then out of this, you need to choose who do you think is going to win out of this group at the end of the 4 days. So for instance, if whoever was going for McIlroy, that is the price you'll get for him to beat the others at the end of 5 days. So can I have some favorites here to win these groups? You can quickly just rattle them off.
Yeah, so Group A, I went for Group A. Justin Thomas. I know it's a strong group, but I think it's value for money. That.
Right. I'm going to stick with Tony for now for Group C. Anyone want to go?
I'm going with Group A, still with Zhang Jie in.
Okay.
There is quality guys in Group A, but it's just I just have an itch for Zhang Jie Im at the moment for some reason.
And then
Maz, I'm going to challenge you live on air there.
Wait. Let me come back.
I'm going to say Justin Rose, Group C. I'm going
Okay.
to challenge you live on air. I'm going to say
Brilliant.
Justin Rose, Group C, will beat Tony Finau.
Fantastic.
And the rest of them.
That's
and
what
the
we
rest
need.
of them.
Okay, so remember your bets here, boys. Remember your bets. So when we come back next time, we know exactly what's happening. Okay, then the last
What's
little
Ryan's
market.
bet?
Ryan, did you say?
Don't forget about
I did not.
Are you still
Sorry,
there,
I did lose connection, so I wasn't sure if you asked me or not.
Okay, have a go.
I thought we were supposed to pick one from each group, but if we're only picking one, I'm definitely going to go for Ricky. I just, again, agreeing with what Fat said about his round the other day. He just looks like he's on form. He looks like he's got himself dialed in, and put a caddy next to him as well. Different story. I think he's going to be even sharper.
So it's me, Dylan, Ryan in Group C for the action, and then Fats versus Basil in Group A. That should be very interesting.
Ricky's in B and C.
Ricky's in B.
Oh, is he? Okay, well,
Yeah.
we'll
B,
take him
C,
for the
yeah.
C then. This is an interesting one. We've got some South Africans playing. We've got Louis Oosthuizen at 18-10. Christian Besaidnout. Now, Christian Besaidnout, he notched up his first European Tour win just before the lockdown, and he came over the PGA Tour, and he's had 2 top 20s in 4 starts. I think he might be a good bet for this tournament to finish the best or top South African. And then we have Brandon Grace, Eric van Rooyen, Dylan Fratelli, and David Frost, which I give no chance. Okay, who's your favorites here, boys?
Louis.
Louis?
I've gone a bit different. I've gone Brandon Grace. I think he's due a win.
Well,
love the way
let
he
him
plays.
beat this group first, then he can go and win it.
Yeah. No, but I'm saying I think he can. I think he's going to beat this group, but I think he's also due a good performance, top 5 performance. So my money's on him.
It's going to be interesting. Okay, so when we're done with this discussion and we come off here, we must
How
just
did
make notes.
David Frost get into the field? That's what I want.
Fast winner.
If you go on
Is he a
the...
past champion?
Is he? If you go on the outright betting, he's lost. Just so you get an
Oh,
indication.
man, that is just not good.
So,
But
man,
he's
I've
got to be
with Eric van Rooyen purely because he unfortunately missed the Ryder Cup pick.
Okay.
And, he had a phenomenal season in Europe, and just the consistency that youngster has just pulled through, and in such a short space of time as well. So, I've kind of had connection with him as well, and he's working super hard. So I'm picking Eric for this one.
Okay.
Can you pick
Prentice-
other pens for him as well?
Peter Prentice gone with Brendan Grace, and Eric van Rooyen with Ruben. He agrees with you. Boys, we are a bit long here, okay? So we'll wrap this up very shortly. Okay, let's go. Okay, thank you. That's the PGA Tour. We're going to watch. We're going to be interested to see how we come out with, if we actually know what we're talking about. Okay. Hole 16. Okay, let's go through some flyovers. I've got hole 16 of... We chose Firethorn, so let's not show that again. Hole 16 of E. Botsy. This is the stroke 2, long all the way down.
I think this is a good hole, Maz. The next hole is better, the 17th. That's actually the stroke 2, I think.
Sorry, yes.
From
you're
the
right.
club, the longer hitters can actually carry the bunkers on the right there. Then you've got quite a short shot into the green. So also a good strong hole. The average hitters need to get it between the bunkers or just before the bunkers, and then they've got quite a long second shot to not an easy raised green there. Also quite slopey. It's raised. You've got the bunker on the left, the drop on the right, so it's not an easy approach. Quite a thin, long green as well. So they can play around with the pin placements as well.
Okay, Jackal Creek. Who wants to go through the 16? That was the old 9th, eh, Dol?
It was, yeah. I'll do Jackal. It's a tough one, eh? Like Jackal off the back tee box there, it's a great hole. If you can try and work out the angle there, off the back tee, it's actually a blind tee shot over the edge of those trees. It's only about a 4 or 5 iron, but it's still quite a scary shot because if you slightly miss it, you're re-teeing. So that's pretty cool. And then a very very strange. It has 2 big trees smack bang in the middle of the fairway, which sort of inhibit your view of the green, so you can't really see where you're hitting, which is kind of a weird way of making a blind shot, but quite a cool hole. Off the club tee, and I think we are designing this course off the club tee. Off the club tee, it's a nothing hole. You can drive it on the front edge of the green. You can hit 7-iron wedge, which to me, as I said about Glen Vista, is not a par 4. You can't hit 7-iron wedge on a par 4. That's ridiculous.
Okay.
I think because of that, we can't really look at it.
Okay, cool. Then Baz, Eagle Canyon, you can reach the green for this one? The 16.
Over the water.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, short one over the water.
Yeah, so pretty much it's all about accuracy for us there. We can reach that green, but because the way the lake is designed, you can't hit it left or right. You can't miss it left or right. But yeah, just pretty much 5-iron, 9-iron wedge into that off the club tee to that green.
Very simple hole. I think it's an easy birdie par hole. It shouldn't be too difficult. A couple of guys agree with Eagle Canyon. I like Eagle Canyon for the 16th. That would be my pick. Anybody else like Eagle
I'm
Canyon?
also a fan of the at Eagle Canyon. Sorry, Ryan. Call me Dylan. If I have to choose between, for me, we have to choose between Jackal and Eagle Canyon on this hole. I think if you go Ibotsi, the choice between the other two, this Eagle's got another par 3 coming up, which we can't really choose. So for me, it's got to be Eagle Canyon, because Jackal 17 and 18 I think is good to choose from, and Ibotsi also 17 and 18 I think is great to choose from. So for me, Eagle Canyon, it's a very similar hole to the Jackal Creek one, like Dylan said. Also, I also hit like 6 or 7 iron off the tee box there with the gap wedge into the green, and I actually played with Basil that day when he hit his driver. You missed it on the left into the water.
No, I did right.
Hit it right. The other interesting thing there with the driver, you can't go long because you're into the mountain there. Also, it's impossible from back there if you find your ball.
Okay. Boys, Carl van Linden, I think he's got the final vote. He says Eagle Canyon, so that's another Eagle Canyon. And then Ruben is on the same page with us, Eagle Canyon 16, 17, Jackal Creek. So, Eagle Canyon is going to be our 16th hole. So the debate is 17 and 18. Will it be Ibotsi? Will it be Jackal Creek? But we'll leave that for another day. Okay, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. It was nice we went a bit over, but we had a lot to talk about today, even though it was only 4 holes to look at. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you, Dylan. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you for hosting the beginning, and Baz, thanks for joining us once again. We're going to give everybody a round of applause. Right. Enjoy the rest of the evening. Until the next time, I'll see you soon.
Cheers.
Later.